everyone. How's everyone today? Welcome to Commercial Farming with the Dirt Road Farmer. Well, it's raining. And there ain't a whole lot you can do. Well, there is a whole lot that you can do. You can't harvest anything, but there are other jobs that you can do on the farm. And one of them that we're doing right now is, this is the field that we just harvested barley out of. If you've watched my previous video, we harvested barley and hauled the straw. Well, this is the same field. I have come back in here and mulched it, and I also spread slurry on it, and now we are cultivating it because we had to put our first stage of fertilizer on it. But also I was running a little bit of a test. If you remember right, on the last field that we cultivated, which was a wheat field, we had our case hooked to this same cultivator, and that case would not pull this cultivator 15 miles an hour. Do you remember me saying something about that? So I took one of our big 9620R John Deeres, and I really don't think it's having a problem. Not a problem at all. As a matter of fact, let's bring up our HUD. And as you can see, we are pulling at 15 miles an hour. So one could only assume that that case just ain't got it. I hate saying that too. I really hate saying that, because I really like the case. I like case equipment. I like John Deere also. But you know, I had a comment on one of my videos, and the comment was, finally, we're seeing other equipment on these farms instead of all John Deere. Well, when I replied to him, I said, I'm out for the equipment that will do the job. I don't care what color it is or what the name of it is. If it does the job, then that's what I want. And here we are. So anyway, yeah, we're not having a problem at all pulling this cultivator 15 miles an hour. So we're going to let him do it. Also, today is the day that we're going to sell soybeans. Yeah. And I can't think of anything else better to do than sell soybeans on a rainy day like this. It's going to bring a whole new light to making money. So anyway, we're going to get our trucks all out and get them serviced, and we're going to get ready to start hauling soybeans. So I'll see you in a little bit. All right, well, we're in the first truck, and let's just kind of pull him out here. Let's get some of these HUDs out of the way. All right, let's just pull him out there like that and tell him to merely go. We've got him set up. He's going to pick up here at the farm silo. He's going to take it to the grain mill, and he's hauling soybeans. So let's just do it. Alright, while he's gone and doing that, let's get in our second truck. Alright, and let's pull him out here. And we'll give that first one just a little bit of time to start loading. And we don't want to crowd them too much. They will wait on one another. That's really not a problem. But we just want to give them a little bit of time in between. Alright, we're going to tell this guy to go. And we'll jump out of him. And let's go jump in our third one. Alright. Alright, the second one is pulling in and getting loaded. We'll give him just a few minutes. We want to take note of how much money we have right now, which is $77,964,251. And we want to see how much money we're going to make off of this. What is it? 50 million liters of soybeans that we have, something like that. So, yeah. So what we will do is we're going to leave this HUD on for just a little bit. Our first truck will get down there and he'll start unloading, and we'll stay with this truck, and yeah, and we'll see up there in the top right hand corner, we'll see how much we get off of each truckload that's being hauled. So and they're going to be hauling for a while. I mean, it's not something that's going to, you know, this is our only trip. Oh no, they've got a lot of grain to haul. And right now our first truck, if you look up there in the top right hand corner, you can see that he is unloading. So we're going to watch that for a moment. And keep in mind, each one of these trucks haul 300,000 liters. All right, and it also looks like our rain quit. All right, you think they're going to get done unloading? My goodness. All right, we got two of them sitting there. One's unloading. All right, $1,026,287 off of that first load. Yeah. Yeah. Ain't that something? Now this guy will go in there and he'll just wait for his turn while the other guy is offloading. And we can jump out of the truck. He is offloading his soybeans. And as you can see, let's see if we get the same amount out of this guy. I think I think we're going to end up with quite a bundle of money. What do you think? All that hard work harvesting, the hours spent doing it. Yeah. That is unbelievable. Well, anytime now. There we go. $1,026,311. Very, very good. All right. I think that is substantially going to help our bank account. We may even be able to buy the second or that last field up there. Yeah. But this is great. This is great. All right, well, and they're going to go back and they're going to do it all again. And they'll just keep running until, number one, they run out of grain to haul, or I tell them to quit. But grain prices is up. That's why we put it all in the silo, and we waited for the highest price possible, and that's where we're at today. So this is a good deal. All right, well, we're going to let them do it, and I'll get back with you here in a moment. All right, looks like our guy is getting right along. Now, to me, these John Deeres, they look real good with the duals on. I really like the looks of that. Good deal. And like I say, he ain't having a problem at all pulling at 15 miles an hour. So, number one, there was either something wrong with the case, because I don't remember having that problem before with the case. As a matter of fact, we pull our planter, pulling it with the grain cart, that big John Deere planter with a grain cart. We don't have any problem with it. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, we are cashing in today. It's a big day. You know, whenever you've put a lot of hard work and hour after hour after hour planting, taking care of your crops, and then harvesting. Oh, yeah. Acre after acre, thousands of acres. And the time comes to sell whenever you see what you've done. Yeah, that's a big day. It really is. So, you know, back when I was young, and I mean, I want to say 10, maybe 10 years old, 11. You know, now my immediate family, and I'm talking about my mother and my dad, of course we lived in the country, but we were lucky enough that we had a pretty good home with indoor plumbing. In other words, we had a bathroom with a bathtub, uh, running water, hot and cold water we had into our sinks, which would be the bathroom and the kitchen sink. But you know, I spent a lot of time with another family member, such as, another uncle, and they weren't as fortunate, I guess, is what you would say. And keep in mind, I do not, in no way, form, or fashion, mean to criticize or anything else. These are just memories of mine. But they were not as fortunate as my immediate family was. And what I mean by fortunate, the way they heated their house, and it was a small house, very small, and the way they heated their house is with a wood heater. Now that wood heater was called a king heater. I don't know if any of you know what that is, but an old king heater was a very thin tin wood stove. And it was so thin that when you built a fire in it, if it was very hot at all, many times the side of that heater would glow red from the heat. And that's the way they heated their house. Now, in the kitchen, from the very beginning of, at first and later, they had gotten indoor plumbing in the kitchen, from what I remember of the old house. But from the beginning of my memory, they didn't have running water in the house. Now they had a well, and they had a pump that sat right on the side of the kitchen sink, and they would pump water into the kitchen sink to wash dishes. And if they needed water heated up, they would, number one, either put a big old tea kettle or something like that on the wood stove, and it wouldn't take it long and it would heat up. Or they could put it on the stove. Now I do remember that they did have a gas stove. I remember that. Well, in other departments of the way they functioned on a daily basis is they didn't have an indoor bathroom. They had what you call an outdoor bathroom. So now keep in mind, it was a what they called a deluxe model. Yeah, it was a two-seater. Why on earth would you want a two-seater? Is beyond me, but I guess the deluxe model, it came with toilet seats, and a place to hang toilet paper, But I spent many nights there. As a matter of fact, I spent a lot of time there. because my dad, he was on the road a lot. He was a truck driver. And my mother, she worked, out of the home. So I spent a lot of time there with my cousins. And I also spent a lot of nights there. Well, now one thing to remember about a house that is heated with wood like that. Now there wasn't any fans or anything to blow the heat around. The heat was residual. It made its way to parts of the house, and that's what you got. The living room where the wood stove was at, now it would run you out of there. And other places in the house, it suffered from heat. Well, one experience that I know of is my aunt, if she was going to mop the kitchen floor, she mopped it early in the day. Excuse me. Because if she didn't, and nighttime fell, well, it gets colder at nighttime in a lot of circumstances, and the water that she was mopping with would freeze on the floor. Yeah, now this is absolute truth. I am not exaggerating, and like I said before, I am not in no means meaning to poke fun at or degrade or anything like that. Hey, that's the way folks lived. That's the way people lived several years ago. That's the way it was. Well, another thing, on cold nights, now I remember me and one of my cousins, we used to sleep in the same bed. We were both boys and the same age. I think he wasn't quite a year older than me. But we used to sleep in the same bed at night. And I remember there was about 4 to 5 inches of covers, quilts, homemade quilts on that bed. And when you got in that bed and got warm, it was nice and warm. I mean, it was toasty. But now you had the problem of the outhouse, okay? Yeah. Now you made sure that you did your business. Whatever you needed to do out there at the outhouse, you did that before you went to bed. Because that was about, I'm going to say 100 yards out the back door of the house. And it could be snowing, it could be 0 outside, and the last thing that you want to do is crawl out of that bed, out the back door, 100 yards out down the backyard to the outside privy. No, you did not want to do that. Well, now they had a fix for that in case you had an emergency during the night and you had to go. Well, yes, and that was a pot. Now, it is, I guess, better known as a chamber. I guess. I've heard it called that, a chamber. I've heard it called a lot of things, even thunder mug. I've heard it called that. But anyway, now that was a container that you could use if you had an emergency during the night and you just couldn't wait till morning. So you used that. Well, there's only one problem with that now, and you didn't want to deal with that problem. The problem was if you used it for whatever reason, if you used it during the night, guess who got to clean it the next day? Yeah, that's right, you did. Or whoever used it. They're the ones that got to clean it, put it away for the next night. So, you know, like I said, in no way, form, or fashion are my stories meant to make fun of. I would never even think about doing nothing like that. They are just my stories, my memories of whenever I was a child. So that's all they are. And you know, I just thought maybe I would share them with you. Maybe there's been some of you that has experienced the same thing. But that was a way of life. That was a way of life. So, but anyway, it looks like our guy is about to get done here, cultivating. And then we're going to get the planter in here. It has quit raining. The sun has come out. Our guys are still hauling soybeans. And yeah, we're getting right along. So we're going to let this guy finish, and we'll get back with him in just a moment. All right. Well, let's take a minute before we start planting this field to take a look at the field and kind of do a rewind on what's actually been done to this field. Now, there was barley planted on this field, and we collected the straw. We baled the straw and we hauled the straw off and sold it. So that means we did not get any benefit from the chopped straw mod. That means we had to put the first stage of fertilizer on it. Well, we put the first thing we done is we came in and mulched this field with a tractor and a mulcher. And I guess I've taken the mulcher back. That's the first thing we did, is mulched it. The second thing we done is we spread slurry on this field. And then the third thing that we done, which we just finished, is we cultivated this field because we have to change the ground texture. And as you can see, we have 50% fertilized state right now. All right, now we've talked about this several times, about why I do it that way. You do not have to do it that way. If you don't want to cultivate it, you can plant it. But you're not going to get the second stage of fertilizer out of it. So that's just something to keep in mind. What you will have to do is you'll have to wait for the first growth stage and then come in and fertilize it then. So I've already got this guy programmed in. So let's just tell him to go to work. And he is going to be planting barley. So yeah, now we can get rid of that. And we can get down here and look at the animation here. Listen to him get it cranked up. And I do believe we've got a young lady that's going to plant for us today. And there we go. And partly why I like planting with these cases is of the big flotation tires. They're not packing the ground, which means right back here in back of those tires where the planter is planting, the seed is definitely getting planted. And we don't have to worry about the tires compacting the ground down real tight, and maybe the seed gets in there and maybe it doesn't, you know. So let's jump out and make sure that we're getting what we are supposed to be getting. All right, we'll turn our HUD back on, and as you can see, we've got barley planted, and we've got a 100% yield bonus and 100% fertilized. Now, what that means is I don't have to worry about this field again until I'm ready to harvest it. Now, I do have weeds turned off because that's just more than I can handle by myself. Between that and stones, I have stones turned off also. I just don't have time to deal with it. So I don't have to come back and do anything to this field now until it's time to harvest it. So just food for thought. Just showing you what I do. So anyway, we're gonna let this guy go for a while, and I'll check back in with you here in a little bit. All right. Well, while that guy's planting, I thought we'd come down here and check on our trucks. And we've got one pulling in. And I think we'll just jump in there and ride with him. We're not going to drive or anything. We're just going to ride with him. Hey, bud, it's all right we ride with you? All right. I guess it would be okay if we ride with him, being we're the one paying him. Yeah. All right. This is the day that all farmers wait for. It's when you get out of the red and into the black. You know, of course, I guess that's when all businesses, that's what they're waiting on, all businesses. So, yeah, it's a big day, you know. And that's partly why, or that is why, Big Friday or Black Friday is called Black Friday. That's the time for businesses to get out of the red and into the black. Or that's the theory behind it anyway. Yeah. So it looks like our guys are doing real well. They are going to be hauling for quite a while. And yeah. Probably half the day they'll be doing nothing but hauling soybeans, because there is a bunch of it to load. And what you have to remember about that is every load that they're hauling is a load that come out of a field on this farm. Every load that they haul, it was harvested with a combine on this farm. So yeah, you know, it's a big day. It is a big day. All right. Now, I do not like the way they have this pit set up here like this. You know, I like the fact that you can close that pit, keep rain out of it and all that. That's good. But whenever you need to open it, it seems like it would open and slide down or something. get out of the way where you can pull over the top of that pit, you know. But, you know, you can't have everything, for sure. Ah. But this is really great. Anyway, I'm going to let you go, and we'll keep an eye on our guy that's planting, or I should say our young lady that's planting for us, and we're going to keep an eye on these 3 trucks. So I'll get back with you in a little bit. All right. Well, looks like this young lady has reached the far side of the field, and now she'll start working her way back, picking up the rows that she skipped. Won't take her long. She'll have it done. Of course, you know, that is an awful big planter for such a narrow field, but yeah, you know, I mean, it's what we have, so why not? Has anybody heard any updates at all on the next FS Farming Simulator game? If so, leave me a comment. The only thing that I have heard is that it's a maybe now. We don't know. We really don't know. I don't know. And then if we do get a new one, what will it be called? Leave me a comment. Let me hear what you guys have to say about it. I'd be interested in knowing. You know, I've said it before that, you know, people are putting in there what all they'd like to see and this and that. A lot of it has to do with graphics and what have you. And all that is great. But you know, the one thing that, well, there's a couple of things that I would really like to see happen in the next farm sim game. And the first being more important than any of the rest as far as I'm concerned, and that's just merely my opinion, you know. I don't want nobody getting upset, just my thoughts, is when we go, if we go to the next farm sim game, leave the mods alone. What I mean is, all the mods that we have on FS22, let them be usable on the next farming simulator. To me, that's a big deal. These modders, this is a lot of work that they've done to create these mods. And I will be the first one to tell you, and you know it as well as I do, Farming Simulator would not be what it is today without those modders that do not get paid to mod these different things and put them out there for us to use free of charge. Now, yes, I think the modders are getting the short end of the stick there. I really do. But that is the way it is. You know, we can't overlook that. They've done a lot of work for our enjoyment. So that would be my number one concern and my number one hope, is for them to leave these mods alone. Let them be usable on the next farming simulator. Now, the next thing that I would like to see, just, you know, and we know it can be done, is when it comes to corn. Can't we have some sweet corn? Can't we do a sweet corn harvest where you harvest the whole ear instead of just shelling it into a trailer? What about sweet corn? Yes. I think that would be a big thing. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. There's a world of agriculture out there. But yeah, just let me know. But anyway, we're going to just keep check on this little gal that's doing our planting, and we are going to definitely keep an eye on our trucks over there, make sure they're still hauling, and this is a good day. So I'll get back with you in a moment. All right, well, I'm helping these guys out a little bit. I'm hauling over here. The price is about the same right across the road, and I'm hauling over here and helping them out. Now, I don't haul quite as much as they do, but I'm I'm getting the job done, let's put it that way. But so far we've hauled almost $115 million worth. Yeah. That's a bunch. Now they haul 300,000 liters at a time, and I can only haul 250. But that's okay. You know, we want to get all this grain hauled before the price goes down. And it looks like we're gaining on it. When I pull under here, we'll be able to see how much grain we've got left. I would say somewhere around maybe 10 or 15 million liters. 13 million liters is what we've got left. So we're going to just keep hauling and see if we can get all this hauled and sold. Because I know the place that I'm hauling it to, the price is going down just a little bit as we haul. So I got to watch that pretty close, and I do not want to take a loss. So anyway, that's what we're doing. All right. Very good. All right, well, we're going to get the rest of this hauled, and I'll get right back with you. Well, we have completed our haul, and we have hauled, well, I'll tell you what we made this year on the farm. $164,418,627. That's what we made off of our soybean harvest. So that number will get bigger because we didn't have all the fields. We didn't have all the fields. So we will have, one of these days, we'll have them all. But for right now, I think that was a pretty good payday. Pretty good. So anyway, I think we're going to call this a day. We've had a big payday, had a great day. And as always, from the Dirt Road Farmer, thank you very, very much for watching.